What's up, everybody? This is Doug from DC Best Ever, and I'm in the kitchen as usual. So I have a feeling the theme of my channel is leaning towards food, because I love food. I love trying food from different cultures. I love making food and experimenting with different flavors and stuff. So the other day I went to Five Guys, but here's the thing about Five Guys: they give you a huge burger, and when you order a regular size fry, they have this little cup. They take this cup and they fill it with fries. So they take their scoop, they fill this thing with fries, put it into a paper bag, then they take another gigantic scoop and then pour that into the bag along with this, and that's how much fries you get. It is way too much for a single person to be able to eat in one sitting. So since I had leftover fries, I didn't want them to go to waste, and since I love breakfast food so much, even though it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now, I haven't eaten yet today. And I want to make an omelet, and I want to reconstitute these fries into like hash browns, but I want to put them into an omelet, and I want to see how that goes. So stick around, and you're gonna go on this journey with me. Alright, so first I'm gonna take these fries and I'm gonna cut them up into cubes, I guess, or as close to cubes as I can get. See this? This should be a regular order of fries right here, but no, this is what was left over after I ate a bunch of them already. So I'm going to take that, chop them up, and then I'm going to put them into a pan, and I'm going to go ahead and get those going, and then I'm going to saute some onion and bell pepper and make an omelet. It's going to be heaven, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so I got my knife here, and I am just going to take these, just going to run through them with the knife, and it doesn't have to be perfect in this case. Like, I'm not trying to mince French fries, I'm just trying to give them a little rough chop, just to break them down a little bit. I'm just gonna take them and, let me angle this over to the pan. Alright, so I got my pan heated up. I'm gonna take these guys and just drop them into the pan. And I'm gonna heat these up first because I think they're gonna take a little bit longer than anything else. Plus, I want to heat these up separately because I'm not going to drop the eggs into the French fries. I'm going to saute some onions and bell pepper, then I'll drop the eggs into that. These are actually going to go inside of the omelet, and that's why I'm using such a big skillet instead of like a regular sized pan like this guy right here. This would be good if I wasn't incorporating potatoes, but because I'm having a lot of filling going into this thing, I want to have enough surface area to incorporate the eggs and then still be able to fold it over all of those ingredients. They didn't season these too much, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to them while they're cooking. In my opinion, nothing compares to freshly ground salt and pepper. It just adds a burst of flavor that doesn't exist with regular, what's considered table salt. Alright, I think these are doing okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them back onto the cutting board, get a little bit of butter going in the pan. If you use unsalted butter, chances are you're going to have to salt your dish. If you use salted butter, then you're not going to have to worry about it. In my experience though, I used salted butter just to fry up some eggs, or even making scrambled eggs using the salted butter, and I didn't season them whatsoever, and oh my god, they were so delicious. It was absolutely incredible, the flavor that it brought out in the eggs that I was making. And I like to use cage-free eggs, like the brown ones. If you can find them, I highly recommend them. And there is a a fact about eggs that I didn't even know about until recently, and that is the darker the yolk, like the more orangey they are, the more healthy the chickens were that hatched these eggs, instead of that really pale yellow color. And I thought that was such an interesting fact. Like, the darker that color of the yolk, the better the flavor. You know, think of it that way. So I got my bell pepper going, and you know, you don't really need to brown the vegetables. You really just want to sweat them. And since the pan is so big, I'm actually going to use 3 eggs instead of just 2, which kind of sucks because that only leaves me with 1 egg in the carton. And just like in my other omelet video, I'm going to take a fork and whip these bad boys up. And you know, I'm feeling a little squirrely, so I'm going to dice up a little bit of tomato and add that to the skillet before I add my eggs. And you always want to make sure that you wash off your tomato. Anything that has a good skin on it, you want to wash off really good. Even if it says it's organic, you just, you know, you don't want to take any chances of getting sick by ingesting pesticide or anything. I'm going to give this a little rinse real quick. You know, there's a couple different ways to dice tomato, but I'm just going to cut off a couple of slices, and then I'm going to dice them using this method. So I'm just going to go in one direction, and then I'm going to turn it and go in the opposite direction. And I'm going to go ahead and add them to the pan along with my onion and bell pepper. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. And the tomato doesn't need to sit in the pan as long as the bell pepper and onion, because it doesn't really need to soften up. So I'm going to go ahead and add the egg, and then I want to make sure that it gets incorporated throughout the entire bottom of the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer of cheese. Now I've added my French fries, and I'm going to do a little bit more cheese on top of that. Now normally I just fold my omelets in half, but recently I've been wanting to roll my omelets because I think it looks a lot better on the plate. So I'm going to try to flip it a little bit, which it's a little bit messy to do it this way. But we will see what happens once I actually plate it. And there was a lot of fries, so it may or may not be pretty, and the way that it looks right now, it's not going to be pretty. Like, I guarantee it's not going to be pretty. But you know what? It is going to be delicious. I'll tell you that much. And you know what? I went to this Mexican restaurant the other day, and they gave me this habanero salsa, and I kind of want to add that to this. And this stuff is not for the faint of heart. It is ridiculously spicy. So that little bit is gonna light me up. But it's gonna be delicious. Like, it has a really good flavor. Now, I'm not used to using this big pan or 3 eggs for my omelet, so this is not my my finest looking omelet. But you know what? I don't really care, because it's gonna taste good. And since I'm not working at a gourmet restaurant or anything, what really matters is that it is delicious. And you know what? This just proves that I'm human. I am not perfect, and whenever I make an omelet, it doesn't always come out like what you would see in a normal video that I would post. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to plate it just as it is. And I have absolutely no regrets. So when it comes to improvising a meal, you don't always know what the finished product is going to look like. But the point is, don't panic. Use the tools that you have, use the ingredients that you have to work with, and as long as it tastes good, nothing else really matters. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.